AEW Fyter Fest, Night 2, Orange Cassidy, Chris Jericho, Brian Cage, Taz, the FTW Championship, an unbelievable 8-man tag! And if you thought Fyter Fest was great tonight, man oh man, is Fight for the Fallen already stacked! My goodness. Jesse and I are here. We're going to go over Fyter Fest tonight like we can only do. The #1 goddamn podcast in the YWC. This is Off the Script.
Delete this mod.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. It is July 8th, 2020. AEW has concluded a great Fyter Fest from Daly's Place. And I am here with Jesse, and we're going to go over it all right here on Off the Script. Bro, what happened, man? Eva Marie, you got me calling her Eva Marie. Now, see what you did? See what you did? Britt Baker could have a broken nose, bro. What happened?
I have not called her Eva in months, man. That's you. That's all you. That's all you. I've always said.
Man,
how
Britt,
Britt
if you're
Baker was a
watching, oh my God, I'm
wrestler.
so sorry. I was so sorry, man. What happened, man? She could have a broken
know why
nose because a big swole. Come on.
What did she hit her with? Like a piece of balled up paper?
I don't know, man. Her secretary. It was like a ricochet reaction. Right into her nose.
Can we get on with the real wrestling, please?
Oh,
God
man.
damn it.
Listen, bro, I thought they had two endings. What happened?
Hey, man, I get one alert. I want to spoil it.
Spoil it?
I mean, but I get...
That fucking
Indus
Indus Share spoiled it last week. What are you talking about?
Yeah, an employee spoiled it. I mean, we don't work for the company, and we have better sense than to spoil the ending. This guy works for the company.
Let me take a picture of Keith Lee.
Oops.
Are you serious? Even Kenny Omega made fun of him on being the elite today. I mean, or this week, not today, this week. Give me a break. Folks, it was all staged. It was all planned because they wanted to get the one-up on AEW. And as you see what happened, their plan backfired because AEW was trending #1 all night. And NXT, according to Salrex, he texted me all night, about number 26, number 27 all night. There you go. The power of Fyter Fest, folks. But I am here with Jesse. We're going to go over the show. Thank you so very much for joining us live right here on the YouTube. We got 530 people right now kind of filtering in. So make sure you guys stay with us. We're going to go over it all and give you guys our opinion on the show. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. I've been uploading these short form breaking news, today news videos. So if you guys want to go check that out, I did one on Monday and I did one on Wednesday this afternoon. Go and check it out. I'm really enjoying them. It's a little different take on the news instead of just putting everything together in a 2-hour podcast because in the summer I cannot sit here for 2 hours. I sweat my ass off doing the podcast. So if you guys want to go and check that out, listen to this. We got Eye for an Eye, Jericho calling out AEW, or calling out NXT rather, about AEW's Eye for an Eye match back in February with Jon Moxley and Santana because Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio, Jesse, someone's going to be walking around with one eye for the rest of their career. Not sure if you were aware.
Yeah. I mean, in the midst of this whole pandemic and we don't want anyone sneezing on anyone and things like that, WWE is going to have a match where someone's eye is going to get ripped out.
So you're telling me Rollins is going to act like a pirate? He's going to be Pirate Rollins. I'm going to allow him to walk ye plank, Rollins. Arr.
Here's the thing I don't know if they get. So, at the end of this, and someone's eye gets kayfabe ripped out, how long are they gonna wear this fucking eye patch for?
Well, I don't know. Is Rollins gonna be walking around with a glass eye?
They can't leave the match with an eyeball.
Is he gonna
missing.
come out with a fucking hook hand the week after Extreme Rules? Is he reprising the role of Captain Hook in Peter Pan? What the fuck?
No, man. He's gonna go away and come back in about 8 to 9 months with a baby and say, "Hey, look, my child, forget the eye." You know, I mean,
what if Rey Mysterio goes to AEW? Is he supposed to sell the eye injury over there in AEW too? Because he's working without a contract.
Depends on how nice they are to him on his way out and how nice they are to Dominic.
WWE be nice?
Yeah.
Who do you think these people are, bro?
Why don't we just take his son to AEW? They'll treat him better anyway.
I don't know. Ray didn't seem like the brightest of individuals to me, but I talked about that today on the podcast. Well, not really a podcast, a video. Make sure you guys go and check that out. Really enjoying that. Hopefully you guys are as well. If you missed Off the Script and my Monday Night Raw review as well in the last couple days, go and check all that stuff out. Linked down below in the description of this very video. Patreon is always available for you guys as well if you want to support. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. And as you see on the layout here made by Salrex, you can follow Jesse and I on Twitter. Our Twitter handles are underneath the layout right there in front of you. So, Jesse, tonight we got Fyter Fest on TNT. What a main event with Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho. They headlined. I thought it was awesome. Headlined the second night of Fyter Fest. This feud was actually set up and put in motion when Jericho and the Inner Circle attacked Orange Cassidy with a bag of blood oranges. Cassidy then got some revenge a week later when he cost Jericho and Sammy Guevara a shot at the AEW Tag Team Championships. And they were in the main event. We'll go over what happened there. Orange Cassidy, man, I'll tell you, man, he right now, and some people may laugh at me, but I don't really give a shit. It's not in my nature to give a shit about what people say. He may be my favorite wrestler right now in all pro wrestling. He's just great.
Yeah, I'm loving him. I mean, I'm not gonna, jump that far into it. I'm loving the gimmick. I like the gimmick work, man. I mean, look, I'll put it out there. I don't think his in-ring work is, I don't try to say like it's bad or anything. It's phenomenal, but it's nothing really extraordinary from another phenomenal type wrestler. If that makes any sense. There's a lot of guys that can do what he does, but the thing is, they do it all the time, and we're just used to this slug pace. And then when we see the fast pace, we're now seeing two different elements, and we love it. But nobody goes into a Kota Ibushi match, or a Will Ospreay match, and say, it was normal, but because it's always phenomenal. They're always great matches. But when Orange goes to that level, we're so like, oh, what the hell? We didn't know this guy could move. We're shocked every time we see it. It's still entertaining, though.
Yeah, and he had one of them moments tonight, which we'll talk about. Got me laughing at what he did against Jericho tonight. But awesome match between those two. That was the main event of Fyter Fest Night 2. Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page, who apparently, Jesse, Page is still owing Private Party $14. There's some continuity here when people don't want to think that there's continuity in this match. He owes them money.
It's 12.
Oh, it's 12. I'm sorry. 14, 12, whatever. Long
12.
Island iced tea is not a cheap beverage,
But look, why don't he just pay for the fucking drink, man?
I don't know. Maybe it was weak. I gotta ask the boys when the next time I see them at a House of Glory, bro, what's going on? A little heavy on the liquor and a little bit less iced tea,
Look, something. We know Hangman. He's not gonna not pay for a drink, right? So why didn't he pay for this one? I don't know, man.
He's the tag team champion. You shouldn't have to pay for anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So they had a tag team title match tonight against Private Party. Omega and Page successfully defended their titles last week against the Best Friends, while Private Party defeated Santana and Ortiz. A nice House of Glory throwback there for night one of Fyter Fest a week ago to earn this title shots. And this match was simply made because Moxley and the precaution about COVID with Renee Young coming down with it. Tony Khan did the right thing, pulled the match, saved it for next week. And Fight for the Fallen is looking like an absolute stacked show next week. I got to see what NXT is going to do. Maybe they bring back Starrcade. Maybe they bring back a revised version of Bash at the Beach. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but apparently, Jesse, Triple H says that NXT is not counter-programming AEW. What were your thoughts on that when I talked about it earlier on the Off the Script Extra that I did?
It sounds like a Vince McMahon edict.
Oh, yeah.
Because to me, I mean, especially after MJF called it out in the ring, like the gloves are off. I mean, let's stop pussyfooting around it. It's just, hey, yeah, it's friendly competition. They put on a big show. We want to make sure we give the fans a big show as well. Why come out and say, no, we're not doing anything? You make it sound like we're fucking stupid. I mean,
I'm pretty sure they think we're all fucking idiots.
I mean, really, we get the competition. They got a nice stacked card, but we think we got a better roster. We want to put on a better show. What's so bad about that? Just tell the fucking.
I don't know. When did WWE ever give a shit about the Great American Bash? And then, oh man, what a coincidence! Yours is too nice as well. Oh man, but they're not counter-programming.
What the hell? They would look stupid for not doing it. Okay, you see the competition is put on this pay-per-view level show, and your main event is, a couple of the odd squad, next to some jobbers. Why wouldn't you counter program?
I don't know.
I mean, it's only business.
It's exactly what I stated it was ever since the beginning of all of this. It is the AEW effect, and it's still alive and very well today, just like COVID. But people aren't dying from it. Well, maybe Vince is, but his ratings are really dying. So I guess it is working, somewhat.
Yeah, I don't think maybe they don't realize how much less heat they would get about what they're doing in regards to AEW if they just came out and said, yeah, we want to put on a great show against this other show. So just come out and say it so people will stop asking.
Well, I'm asking, but I'm asking the wrong fucking questions. Apparently, they don't give a shit. The ratings obviously are indicative of that as well. But Colt Cabana, everybody loves Colt Cabana. Boom, boom, Colt Cabana. He teamed up with Mr. Brodie Lee. I got to get it right. Got to show the man some respect over here. Mr. Brodie Lee.
Messed it up.
Stu Grayson, SCU. This was Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky. 6-man tag tonight, continuing that storyline. A major announcement from Taz and Brian Cage. That was advertised on the show. We'll go over what that was as Moxley and Cage meet next week for the AEW Championship at Fight for the Fallen. And then Lance Archer versus Joey Janela, something that I was low-key looking forward to. We'll go over that. And Nyla Rose was in action for Fyter Fest tonight. And that is the rundown. Before we get into the top, we got the show opening with the Tag Team Championship. So this was pretty surprising. I thought this would be closer to the end of the show, but we got it to open the show. Private Party, Kenny Omega, Adam Hangman Page, Tag Team Championship on the line here. I don't know what you thought of this, Jesse. I love the guys over at Private Party. They are mega talented. They are super young. I think anybody who kind of downplays their talent and their ability is a fucking clown. And we all know that Page and Omega have had a great title run. I really do think it is reaching epic levels at this point, just with the body of work. Not necessarily the length of the reign, but the body of work that they've put into this thing. And I'm loving what's coming out of them as a duo, but I feel like this match tonight with Private Party is kind of indicative of what we've seen with tag team matches as of late in AEW. I felt it was good, but I felt like it was all the same pace throughout all 12, 13 minutes that this match was. It didn't really slow down, and I feel like all of AEW's tag team matches are kind of taking on the same shape and the same formula. What did you think about that? Obviously, the right team won here, but do you think that Omega and Page, and this is my opinion, so I'm relaying it to you, do you think that Page and Omega now need to get back and kind of get into that storytelling, whereas the last two matches, this one and then the one with the best friends, kind of moved away from that storytelling aspect that they were so heavily involved in early in their run?
No. I like the fact they're gonna get down to wrestling now. See, their run started off with storytelling, and in the midst of that storytelling, they also started building up the tag titles because we all know that's why they're carrying them. So as they were telling their stories with the tag titles, now that they've done that, they're gonna turn into more wrestling with the tag titles. Why? Because they're getting ready to crown new tag champions sometime soon. We can all see very soon those two are gonna be getting rid of those titles. We don't know to who, because it seems that now they're building back up the tag division that was kind of plateauing at one point. And I'm gonna disagree with you. I thought tonight's match was fucking great. I mean, I loved it. Um, I like how these four work together, believe it or not. I mean, and also on I like the chemistry on even on BTE and the comedic timing and stuff like that. I mean, I like the four of these guys together. Also, I didn't dislike anything about this match. I thought the pace was awesome. I liked all of it. But I think now what they're gonna start doing is having Kenny and Hangman build back up these tag teams. That's why it looks like we got them with the Jurassic Express next week. They're getting ready to do exactly what I've been saying for weeks. They got to get Jurassic Express back into that top tier because they kind of fell off. We didn't see a lot of Private Party because of the pandemic, so they got to get them back up to speed. We mentioned earlier tonight they're making Butcher and Blade look good again. Now they're gonna rebuild that tag division, and we don't necessarily know who those titles are going to, and that's the awesome part about it. So I like it.
Yeah, it could be anybody really. I mean, everybody's gonna point to FTR. That's my pick because I just think that makes sense. They take it and then they go and do whatever they got to do with the Bucks. But after tonight, and we'll get there, you really can't count out the Lucha Brothers either because I mean, either way you look at it, in that 8-man tag alone, you got the Lucha Brothers, you got FTR, and the Young Bucks. Anybody could make a case for any of those teams being the best team in tag team pro wrestling right now, and AEW's got them under contract for their company. And that's just unbelievable to think that Page and Omega have so much as far as competition goes. And I do like that, what you said, they are building up these tag teams, and I do think that's the case. And I can't wait to see what Page does with a Luchasaurus. I can't wait to see what a Kenny does with a Jungle Boy. I think we all think highly of them now, Jungle Boy now, Luchasaurus now, and I think they definitely will be elevated, like you said. So it should be interesting to see next week. But this tag team match, I didn't think it was bad. I just think that the pacing is just, something similar to what we've seen in all of these high-flying tag team matches that we've seen in AEW. But we got Private Party delivering a silly string right out of the gate, almost, to Kenny Omega. Isaiah Cassidy launched himself onto Page at ringside, and they continued momentum there. But a big lariat by Page turned Mark Quinn inside out. So Cassidy dropped Omega with a lower backbreaker and followed with a big enziguri. Kenny Omega then came back, sending Cassidy into his own partner. Page tagged in and slammed Cassidy into Quinn for a near fall off of a powerbomb. Quinn recovered and delivered what I thought was an absolutely perfect shooting star press for a 2 count, but the champions answered with a last call for the win. That shooting star press was broken up by Kenny Omega. I don't know what the fuck the referee was doing on that, but Jesus Christ, was that a hesitated 3 count. They could have won the titles there realistically. I don't know if you picked up on that.
Yeah. I mean, what are you supposed to do, man? The spot came in a little bit late. I don't know.
So that was awesome. Shooting star press. Omega came back and saved the day there, and it ended with a last call for the win and a successful title defense. My opinion stands on it. Jesse obviously has a different opinion. What did you say, man?
I think I saw what happened. I think I'm not even bullshitting. I think the ref was doing the count, and when he was coming down for the 3, I think he looked up and was like, "Oh shit," and got out of the way because he didn't want to get hit.
Yeah, that could be it.
I think that's what happened.
That could be it.
So, yeah.
So we got the right guys winning here. Omega and Page still tag team champions. My opinion stands on it. Obviously, Jesse and I are not going to agree on everything. That's why, we love doing what we do here. But I do agree with him where Omega and Page are going to get into these matches with Jurassic Express and Private Party and teams like that and start building them up after being away from those types of teams. And those teams, these are teams that we all talked about being in contention for the tag team championships, and now we're just finally starting to see all those teams slowly move up the ladder with them as tag team champions. But tag team wrestling is back in 2020, and AEW has the best tag team division in all of pro wrestling. We got Joey Janela and Lance Archer. This is exactly what it was supposed to be, Jesse. What'd you think of this? Lance Archer, everybody thought he should have beaten Cody Rhodes. I was one of the very few people in the community doing what I do who said, no, Lance Archer doesn't need to beat Cody Rhodes. As long as Lance Archer looks strong in defeat, Cody is the right one for that championship, and that actually ended up being the case. People were saying Lance Archer was buried. He was a monster coming out of the gate. Commentary, did a great job at building him up. Kind of building him up as, he's Lance Archer and he could challenge for a title at any time and beat whoever the champion is at any given moment. That's how big and fucking menacing he is. But this is exactly what it needed to be. Joey Janela, he's a guy that's fearless. He's a babyface that is going to risk it all, put his body on the line, not only for himself because he likes that type of shit, but, he loves making others look good as well. And this was definitely the case here. What'd you think of this? And what did you think of Lance Archer kind of, I guess, going through that reset now on AEW television?
Lance Archer came out and murdered Sonny Kiss.
Which was definitely one of the best parts of the show.
Man, I text JD after this. How do I sign up to become one of the guys that Lance Archer murders?
Just
when
carry
he
us
comes
out on his shoulders. Two-piece. I'll sign up with you.
That's just one day it's just, I hope Lance Archer becomes a main eventer, top tier main eventer to main event the top show in AEW one day, and I hope he comes out carrying Tony Khan one day, man, during that match. I mean, I just do it. Just do it every damn week. Do it somebody different that we know every week. I love it so much.
So this was 2 weeks, Jesse, after both Janela and Sonny Kiss found themselves on the receiving end of a Murder Hawk beatdown, and Joey Janela battled from a come-from-behind fashion, as he should have tonight, against Lance Archer. So Joey Janela and Lance Archer on the outside early on. I believe Joey Janela jumped off of the top turnbuckle with a huge crossbody off the top rope onto Lance Archer. Archer set up a table and then teased a steel chair just attack on Joey Janela, but the referee, Paul Turner, cut him off. This was not a no DQ match. So the table was set up outside, so you knew this was actually going to come into play at some point in the match. Archer then was just beating down Joey Janela. Janela had obvious welts on his back from the beating by Lance Archer. Archer punished and pummeled Joey Janela into a commercial break. Back from break, we had Lance Archer continuing his beatdown, sending Janela into the guardrail. Janela dived with a rolling elbow, flurry of clotheslines, and these had no effect on Lance Archer at all. And after that, he got set up for a blackout, but I love the way Janela countered the blackout, and he evaded danger there. A bicycle knee strike by Janela stunned Archer momentarily, so we got Janela following with a senton. And the referee at this point was distracted, Jesse, with Sonny Kiss jumping off the top rope, which, I'm not a big Sonny Kiss guy. And they just announced that Sonny Kiss and Cody Rhodes will be going one-on-one next week for the TNT Championship. I'm not sure if you've seen that. I asked myself why, and then proceeded on with the festivities tonight. But Sonny Kiss with a very nice-looking 450 splash while Paul Turner was distracted by Jake. I'm sorry, not by Joey Janela. By Jake the Snake, who was on the outside. So he only got a 2 count there off of that double team attack. Archer recovered, delivered a nasty blackout through the table, and that was obviously it. And that led to the pinfall victory here. Archer beats Janela. What does he do next, Jesse? What does Lance Archer do next? It seems like they hit the reset button, but after this, it's like a big question mark.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it's about time to start splitting up some of these feuds and redirecting people, because right now, I don't know. I mean, he can go a few different directions. They haven't given us any hints as to where, so who knows, But I like to see. We just wrapped up with Cody, didn't he?
Yeah.
Man, I really want to see what they do with Hangman and Kenny. It looks like one's gonna come out heel, one's gonna come out babyface.
Yeah, and they have the tag teams to kind of, I guess, have that happen. Like, they're not losing anything if they want to split up Paige and Omega. A lot of people think that Paige going heel is not going to work because he's just so incredibly over. And I honestly think Kenny could use a nice little attitude change, in my honest opinion. I think him turning heel would actually be quite interesting.
It was I don't want to say teased, maybe Easter egged a little on BTE as the cleaner returning and everything else. So
we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see what happens, but we're not there yet. They got to lose those titles first. So we're all enjoying their work as a tag team and as tag team champions. So let's not jump the gun with any of that. Taz and Brian Cage came out. Tony Schiavone introduced both of them. Taz was in the ring, and he had a black bag with him. And Taz said he was glad Shivani was there since he's been around so many iconic moments. And I'm not talking about Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. Please, chat. This is not iconic. Neither was this. And this will be another iconic moment. It was anything but, Jesse. He said last week Jon Moxley was supposed to defend his AEW title against Brian Cage. But now Cage will have to wait until next week to beat up Jon Moxley. Taz had a big black bag with him. And he said he was holding in his hand something he created with his blood, sweat, and tears. He revealed the FTW World Heavyweight Championship. A lot of people were wondering why and how WWE clearly doesn't own this championship. It's the one thing that they don't own. He said, no promotion has ever recognized that title, but wrestling fans worldwide recognize and respect whoever holds it. Taz is quite the bullshit artist. He said whoever holds this title is the baddest son of a bitch in all of pro wrestling. He presented it to Brian Cage and called it renegade shit. He said that gives Cage momentum, and he promised Moxley that he will be finished next week. Now, I love Taz. I thought the promo was spot on, as all of his promos have been spot on. But I gotta be completely honest with you. I didn't really see the need for this. I don't want AEW to get any ideas about making this another title in AEW. It doesn't need to be another title. I don't think this adds legitimacy to Brian Cage whatsoever. In fact, all it does is kind of seal his fate next week, in my eyes, against Jon Moxley, because he's not winning the AEW Championship. I honestly think the only people that found this to be a good segment with the championship aspect, are belt marks, championship belt collectors, or belt marks. When was the last time we seen the FTW Championship? I can't even remember when. But the one thing I think you and I both discussed was the fact that this championship, if it does become a staple on AEW television, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed as to hopefully not, this is definitely going to play a role in Darby Allin coming back to TV, and this is something that Darby Allin might win. And we all know that this title is so beneath Darby Allin that he should be challenging and possibly taking that TNT championship off of Cody Rhodes. What do you think about this, and do you think this is going to be a staple on AEW television moving forward?
I don't know. I can't see them introducing the title like the way that they did and not making it a mainstay. Now, I don't know why it's there. It shouldn't, I mean, just the way that the title was introduced alone has already made it meaningless. I mean, it's not like we got, the execs coming out and presenting it and making a tournament for it and have these guys fight over it. Taz came out, who has not even been recognized as an AEW official, brought the title he had at home on his shelf and gave it to his friend and then walked out. What the fuck does that mean to us? What's the worst? So when he loses it, what does that mean? I mean, and it has 24/7 vibes all over it too. It's just some rinky-dink thrown together title. So now if you give it to somebody like Darby, is he now like looked at as someone who's now just in that X division or that hardcore division or that 24/7 division? They're still trying to establish the credibility of their TNT title. It took Jericho and Mox to establish the credibility of their main title. They're still working on the tag titles as we speak, and they want to bring in another one. I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea either. I don't see what good this does. Obviously, this is a throwback to his ECW days. I'm assuming Tony Khan is a big ECW guy. Maybe that is the main factor as to why this made TV. But I don't really see this serving any purpose whatsoever. I still stand with what I said about Darby Allin costing Brian Cage next week in that match. I don't think he loses clean whatsoever. But then we have another situation with Brian Cage and Darby Allin, which I'm assuming will be booked for All Out. What happens with that? Does Darby beat Brian Cage? Does Brian Cage come in and have all these squash matches and then one big match with Moxley, only to get a match with Darby Allin and then lose so early in his run in AEW? That's another question that a lot of people should be asking. What happens then? Will it be for this championship? A lot of big question marks here going into this. But I'm assuming this match is going to lead to Darby Allin versus Brian Cage at all out, right?
Probably, which should be a good match.
Yeah, it should be a great match.
I mean, it should be a good match. It's kind of gonna put the spotlight on Brian Cage to see how far he can work with a guy like Darby Allin. Because Darby's gonna bump. Darby's gonna bump.
Yeah, Darby can work with anybody.
Darby's gonna make Brian Cage look great, but now in his comeback spots, what's he gonna do for Darby? I kind of want to see how he plays out in this.
We'll see, man. I don't know. Maybe there's more about this to be unveiled next week, in the weeks to come. Maybe on Being the Elite, maybe on AEW Dark. I have no idea. So we'll see what happens, but I hope this isn't a mainstay on AEW television. What I am glad is a mainstay on AEW television is tag team wrestling. Because you ain't getting it on Monday and Friday, I'll tell you that. Not even on Wednesdays. Wednesday was the night for tag team wrestling in WWE. Not even anymore. Not even anymore. We got 3 of the very best tag teams on the planet in this one match alone. And then we got Butcher and Blade, who have not looked bad in their own right at all. And they did not look bad in this match either. Now, the one thing I noticed, and I noticed this week in and week out since they've arrived, but I noticed it even more so in this match, Jesse. FTR, what a night and day comparison to when they were in the WWE on this same day last year. Just 1 year removed from that nightmare of a tag team division. Here they are standing in a ring with these teams that they've drooled over for well over a year. And they're in the ring tonight on Dynamite with the Bucks, the Lucha Brothers, and even Butcher and Blade. They look fucking happy. Like, I've never seen them move like this. I've seen them move like this in NXT, but I have not seen them move like this since their call up to the main roster. And that's been a very long, seems like forever ago. But, man, oh man, do they look just renewed and refreshed in AEW. Holy shit.
They do. They seem like happy kids in the playground, man. And I had that surreal moment, at that time when they were in the ring, you saw them on the apron. I was like, holy shit, I'm looking at a match with, these guys and the Bucks and Lucha Bros. They're doing it. And I had it again when they showed the match graphic of FTR versus the Lucha Brothers next. Oh man,
my God. I literally stopped everything I was doing when Harwood was in the ring with Pentagon and then Wheeler tagged in and they were working on Pentagon 2-on-1. I stopped literally everything I was doing and I'm like thinking to myself, I waited for a very long time to see these two teams in the ring. And we're getting it next week 2-on-2. It should be a match of the year fucking showdown at Fight for the Fallen. I've waited so long to see these two teams. Now, it's not going to break the ratings bank. It's not going to fucking generate interest like you would expect, a big match to. But these are two of the very best teams in their profession at what they do in the ring. And who wouldn't be excited about that? I mean, holy shit. I'm just excited to see Pentagon back on fucking TV.
Well, when people, I hate when people say, things like, oh, well, FTR is going to AEW. Well, it doesn't mean anything. They're not gonna pop the ratings or anything. Well, I disagree. I mean, are they gonna pop the ratings in 1 week? No. Even like a month from now, is it gonna be because FTR showed up? Are they breaking the ratings? No. But what's happened is these awesome teams are showing up with these other awesome teams and putting on these awesome matches every week. And when it starts happening consistently every week, then yeah, it will become, man, since they got FTR and then with these guys, they've been killing it. And then they start breaking the ratings. It don't happen in 1 week, but it will happen.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. And we talk about that a lot when we talk about WWE. There's legitimately no consistency. And if WWE did put on consistent good shows instead of one good show in a span of 6 months and then fucking, all these other shows are just completely garbage, nobody's going to watch. But if you do that consistent day in and day out, week in and week out type of mentality, then things are going to work out for them in the end. And I hope that you're right. But it's not even up to us. We can say it. It makes sense to people listening to us. It's just the people watching who aren't us that need to kind of get on board. People are just so bored easily nowadays. They just rather consume, instead of watching full-fledged 15, 20-minute great matches like we're expecting next week and like what we've seen tonight, they'll watch it in moderation or they'll fucking digest it in clips. It's up to them to watch and invest and care, And I don't think people are there.
That's true. I mean, I think that really is a big part of the ratings we see for wrestling these days. Because you got to think about it. With the generation now, man, everybody is looking at 10-minute video clips, 10 minutes and 15 seconds, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and that's how they consume a lot of things. So you want to tell them to sit down in front of a TV and watch 3 hours of a show, 2 hours of a show. They don't have the attention span for it anymore,
No,
man.
and another factor is social media is so cancerous. You know, you got all this back and forth between the WWE Elite and the AEW Elite. It's like, you know, you say one bad thing about AEW and there's a war going on. You say one bad thing about NXT, there's a war going on. People are so easily influenced on social media. If you're watching WWE and not watching AEW, then you're missing out on shit like this. If you're missing out on AEW, you might have missed out on something that Ciampa did or Keith Lee or Adam Cole did over there or Johnny Gargano. No matter who it is, Finn Balor. But I just feel like people aren't watching for the example I just made to you there. And then they're not watching because, oh, I'm so against AEW. It's all flips and dives and this and that. Well, you got guys like FTR in the fucking company who are strictly against that might be doing exactly what you are interested in. And you're not watching because they're associated with, Tony Khan. Or they're associated with the Bucks. They're a bunch of losers. They're flips and dives and gymnasts. You know, so you're pretty much giving them a label without actually watching them and understanding what they do.
Exactly.
It's disgusting. It really is. But what were you going to say something?
Can we just talk about how fucking awesome Rey Fenix is, man?
I think even Tony Schiavone was fucking like, holy shit.
Jesus Christ, man. I found myself sitting here looking at the TV at one point like,
I'm just glad he's fucking alive after the last spot he injured himself on. And then he almost killed himself tonight. He doesn't give a shit.
No, man. This guy's, I don't know. Look, I don't know what his deal is, man, but he is not human. Rey Fenix is insane, man.
He's not human. He's not human.
Jeez.
We got the heels in this thing. They came out in a pickup truck. I believe it was FTR's pickup truck. The announcers talked about Pentagon being stuck in Mexico apart from Fenix in recent months. Schiavone said he thinks the Lucha Brothers are the most underrated team in AEW right now. That is underrated and the Lucha Brothers in the same sentence. Who the fuck is Tony Schiavone associating himself with?
I don't know, man.
He's talking to he might be talking to your role model.
Yeah, oh, Jesus. Can we stick to the wrestling, please?
Underrated and the Lucha Brothers doesn't make sense, but I don't know if you picked this up, Jesse. They showed Shawn Spears and Tully Blanchard chatting in the stands far away from everybody else. Tully was obviously wearing a face covering because fuck WWE. But they showed this for a very specific reason. We don't know what that reason is, but these cutaways to Tully and to Shawn Spears and FTR doing the 4 or Cody, you know, just out of the blue, not probably knowing what he's doing, flashing a 4 or doing something like that. All of this is building to something, and week by week we see shit like this. It's just becoming a little bit more intriguing. Do you think this means anything? Did you catch that in the stands?
I saw it, but I didn't pick up on how they were connecting these guys. I wasn't picking up on the vibe.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to blatantly just throw it out there, but I would assume that Tully is kind of monitoring FTR's movements.
Yeah, I kind of saw that, but I'm like, where would they go with that? Because you're not going to bring them on and then toss them into a stable right away.
No, it's going to happen when the time is right for sure, with fans, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. You gotta do a turn. You should do a turn to get into a stable. And right now, we still don't know if these guys are heels or faces.
Exactly. So it's going to happen when the time is right. Excalibur said that FTR and the Lucha Brothers, this is the first time that they've been in the ring together in any capacity. Take my money. Matt Jackson blind tagged himself in with a slap on Cash's back. Cash gave him a nice little nasty look. We got just a chaos of sequence here. I didn't even bother taking fucking notes during this thing because how the fuck could I with all this chaos? So FTR and the Bucks had a series of moves on Blade. Fenix broke up the cover. That was Nick making a cover. Fenix broke that up. He was actually late. Blade lifted his shoulder. I'm not sure if you caught this either. Blade lifted his shoulder because he just knew at that moment, like, where the fuck is he? He's not going to break up this pinfall, so he kicked out anyway, so they made a nice recover there. The Lucha Brothers and the Bucks had a series of moves leading to Fenix giving Matt a Canadian destroyer off of the ropes, a slingshot destroyer with Matt Jackson onto legitimately everybody in this match who was standing on the outside. What a fucking ridiculous, and I mean that in the best way possible, spot. I'm glad he didn't kill himself. Tony Schiavone even said on commentary, and this I did write down, if you are not digging this, something is totally wrong with you, he said. Excalibur exclaimed he's never seen anything like that before. I don't think any of us have seen anything like that before, but if Rey Fenix is doing it, you know, I'm sure you've never seen it before. So Matt mistakenly kicked Dax. The Lucha Brothers then finished off Matt with a double-team driver. Ross said the simple human error with Matt and Dax probably cost them the match. There was a spot, Jesse, in this thing. This was my favorite part of the match between FTR and the Bucks. They were doing this anything you can do, I can do better thing. They were making tags to each one of themselves. It was either Nick or Dax or Cash and Matt in the ring doing Bucks moves or FTR moves, and they were going back and forth with one member of each team kind of doing their signature moves. So I love that mentality, and I love that anything you can do, I can do better, only for their miscommunication to cost them in the end. So this match, no matter how chaotic it was, no matter how death-defying this was, there was still story written all over this with FTR and the Young Bucks. And man, oh man, when they get in the ring, we could be looking at the best match of the entire pro wrestling year when FTR and the Bucks finally get in the ring at All Out.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to build enough story to get there too. It looks like we just had our first exchange of miscommunication with them tonight, so we get to see how that builds into next week and everything. They're gonna kill it. I think that they know that they got something special in this build to that match, so they're gonna take it slow. They're gonna do it right, and it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
It's gonna be great. Tag team wrestling at its finest. Vince, open your fucking eyes, old man. Seriously. You let these guys go, and they're lighting it up already in less than a month over in AEW. Your loss. Alex Marvez informed Big Swole outside of the venue. Now, I know you have something to say about this, and I don't understand why these little things aren't looked at and kind of fixed. Common sense here. Big Swole was outside the venue that she isn't allowed in. She was receiving, a summons or some sort of paperwork here, a citation that she's not allowed in the building because of Britt Baker, and Britt Baker was behind all of this. Swole said she could have called her so she didn't have to drive 3.5 hours to get to Daly's place. She then stormed back to her car with all of her luggage, and the segment was over. Number one, I know you mentioned this. Why wasn't this filmed earlier in the day, and why was Big Swole just getting to work just now at the 9:30 hour?
Poor work ethic by Big Swole, man. Piss poor work ethic. Terrible.
I don't know. I mean, things like this. I mean, if Tony Khan has got his finger on the product, this would have been much better filmed in the day before anybody was shown on Dynamite. So all they needed to do was film this, splice it into the show, and kind of give Big Swole a heads up. Hey, it is 10:30 in the morning. You're not allowed in the building. You could go home now. And I doubt she's driving 3.5 hours. I'm pretty sure everybody's kind of centralized in Jacksonville. You know, another thing. Made me shake my head.
Yep.
You're waiting for me to say something about Britt Baker, bro. You look bored.
Just get past this segment, man. Come on.
What happened?
I know it's coming. Just
all right,
get to this shit.
We'll move on. I won't sit here and state to you how Britt Baker is such a great pro wrestler and that she's your favorite female pro wrestler in the business and how you're dying to meet her. Right? Baby?
I hope Adam Cole loses tonight. I'm just kidding.
What? Maybe we should call up Indusher.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows.
I heard that it was a leak.
Sarav of Indusher. What happened, bro? Anyway.
That guy could be a main eventer, man. Should hire him over at AEW.
Yeah, we'll see if he's on TV any longer. Malcolm Bivens. Poor Malcolm Bivens. What happened, bro? You got to find a new fucking tag team. Nyla Rose, Cell Rex's favorite wrestler. I told you I was not going to say it, bro. I lied. He loves Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose versus Kenzie Page and Kylan Page. Sisters, I'm assuming. Or just a bizarre coincidence that they have the same last name. Maybe they're related to Adam Page.
Oh, no, yeah, that's it.
I don't know. Do they like to drink like Adam Page? Maybe. Maybe they joined them for a cold beverage after the squash match that went 2 minutes. Nyla Rose absolutely demolished these two jobbers. We don't really need to go into how, but Nyla speared one of them and then powerbombed the other onto the other, and that was it.
She murdered these damn women.
There was a Release German suplex in there as well.
What the hell?
Listen, they're building her up as the native beast. 2 minutes after the match, Rose announced, Jesse, that she hired a manager. Now, who is this manager? Nobody knows. She said that she's not ready to announce who it is yet, of course. She talked about how Taz showed up and Cage is already in a title match. She mentioned Tully with Shawn Spears, but he hasn't even sniffed the championship yet. We got Arn Anderson with Cody, and he's the TNT champion. She then looked down at Hikaru Shida in the front row and said that she's coming for the AEW Women's Championship soon. Any indication or any guesses on who this could be? I know I put it out on Twitter. I gave my opinion on it. A lot of people are saying Vicky Guerrero, which I hope is not the case, but in your case, I'm assuming you would love Vicky Guerrero on TV. God, yes, say, look, he's already fucking clapping. Where's that clap for Britt Baker? I don't see that enthusiasm about 5 minutes ago. Vicky Guerrero, which I hope to God not, because she's absolutely blasphemous on television. I know I'm waiting for him to say something. My stance on this is I think it's Medusa, Alundra Blaze. I don't know why. I don't know how I could even come to that conclusion, but for some reason I would see her fitting into that role quite lovely.
Now that I heard that it could even possibly be Vicky Guerrero, that is the only thing that I want this to turn out to be.
And you think that's going to enhance
Nothing
Nyla
else.
Rose's character?
How would it not?
Excuse me?
How would it not?
You want to hear "excuse me" shrieked like a banshee, like a gargoyle on a fucking building in New York City? Really? Yeah, see? But he doesn't want to see Britt Baker on television. I don't understand this guy. I gotta
yes,
dump
please.
you, bro. I gotta
More.
dump you. I'm sorry.
More Vicky. More Vicky is microphone gold, man. Mega heat. Love it. Love it. Vicky is awesome at what she does.
I don't know.
Awesome.
A lot of people in the chat are
Awesome.
saying Jazz or Awesome Kong. I could see Awesome Kong. I could see that too. That was another one that people kind of stated on Twitter. But for some reason, I think it's Alundra Blaze, a.k.a. Medusa. Just with the TNT ties and what she did with the Women's Championship on Nitro all those many years ago. I don't know. For some reason, I could see it. She's a legend. She's a Hall of Famer. It would piss Vince McMahon off because she's in the Hall of Fame. Another WWE Hall of Famer on AEW television. I think it would be great. They already fired Vicky Guerrero. What the fuck, you know? They don't give a shit about her.
Yeah. I thought about being Awesome Kong. The only reason I said maybe not because she has zero mic skills. None. Awesome Kong herself needs a manager.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I couldn't see Awesome Kong. Jazz, I think Jazz could pull it off. I think Jazz could do it. Jazz might be a nice pick. I mean, because she can still look intimidating and everything else. I like the Jazz pick. But all of these fall second tier to Vicky Guerrero, man. That was the best idea ever.
Well,
Yes.
Listen, it wasn't from me. I wouldn't even pitch that to creative. Now that I mentioned it, watch it happen.
Oh, that's the perfect idea. Vicky. Yes, I love it.
We'll see.
Love it.
Nyla Rose is getting a manager. We'll see who it is on her way to the AEW Women's Championship. Does that help her beat Shida? I don't think that's the right decision, but again, we'll see what happens. SCU, Christopher Daniels, Kaz, and Scorpio Sky versus Mr. Brodie Lee, Colt Cabana, Boom Boom, and Stu Grayson. All of the Dark Order were on the stage looking at what was going on in the ring here. Before the match actually started, they cut to the training room with Colt Cabana being examined on the doctor's table. He has bruises all up and down his ribs. He was completely bruised up. I'm not really sure if this is legit or not. Maybe it is. I don't know how he would have acquired these injuries, but maybe it happened on night 1 of Fyter Fest and we just didn't realize. He said he was cleared, though. Brodie Lee walked in and said that they aren't sure who caused what happened or who caused what happened to him, but the Dark Order was watching his back, and this type of thing won't happen again. He told Colt he expected him to get ready to be in the match later on tonight, and Colt obviously was groaning and did not want to do any of this, but then he says, Jesse, yes, sir, Mr. Lee. So is he in the Dark Order, or is he succumbing, I should say, to the power of the Dark Order and Mr. Brodie Lee?
I don't think he's gonna join. I think he's gonna, do this for a few weeks, create the story, and then feud against the Dark Order with a few other guys. So, I don't think it's gonna be a permanent thing. Colt Cabana is not a fit in the Dark Order. Colt Cabana can never, ever, ever, ever be a heel, ever.
You think this leads to a match with Lee and Colt Cabana at All Out? You think they drag it out till then?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do it. That's a nice little.
That's a nice little undercard match.
Undercard. Yeah, start to a pick. Yeah, I like that. Sure. Yeah.
So we got a 6-man tag here. This continues on with the SCU guys feuding with the Dark Order, so there is some continuity here. This just isn't something thrown together. Brodie looked like he was going to start, but Grayson entered, locked up with Daniels. Colt tagged in for a few minutes against Sky. Obviously, he was hurt. The referee stopped the match. Brodie Lee was yelling at Colt Cabana to continue. He didn't really give a shit about Colt being injured. So 2 Dark Order members walked to ringside. Kaz leapt over the top rope onto them. Brodie then slammed Sky. Colt looked around like he didn't know what happened. Brodie told him, cover Sky in the ring now. There you go. He did and only got a 2 count, but he hesitated while doing it. So we got a commercial break. Grayson had control of Sky after the break. Brodie tagged in as Sky leapt and tagged in Kaz. He landed a swinging DDT for a 1 count. A couple of minutes later, Daniels landed the best moonsault ever, and for someone his age, Daniels still does one of the best moonsaults in the business. Beautiful for a 2 count on Grayson. Miss Flair can learn a thing or two. But Colt broke up the cover. Daniels was upset with Colt. Brodie then surprised Daniels with a lariat. Brodie tagged in Colt, who got the 3 count. Colt was glowing over being the one who won the match, quote-unquote, won the match. Ross wondered if Colt then would be a long-term addition to the Dark Order and if his winning ways have finally turned the corner. I don't know, but like Jesse and I said, I think this may lead to something where, and I think Jesse is right on this, I think this leads to Colt kind of dragging this out and coming to the realization that, hey, I don't really fit here. I'm against this. Leads to a match at All Out with Brodie Lee obviously getting the win, and then they move on to their next victim in the Dark Order. So they went to announce Fight for the Fallen, and Jesse, this is absolutely fucking stacked. Cody, as of right now, is defending the title against Sonny Kiss. The Sonny Kiss break, or Sonny Kiss piss break, I should say, is next week. So, guys, whatever you got planned, believe me, I would much rather you see, or much rather you guys do something else, whether it's jump on PS4, go walk the dog, do the dishes, cook your wife dinner first, obviously, and then do the dishes. Maybe take a nice 15-minute nap, nice little cat nap, scoop some cat shit like I'll probably be doing. You know, it's anything but the match next week. So we got this for the TNT Championship. Lucha Brothers versus FTR. First time ever 2-on-2. The Bucks and Omega versus Jurassic Express. That is Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and that little midget over there. Plus we got Moxley and Cage for the TNT AEW World Championship. Baker handed Shivani a note to plug her merch as well during this segment. And then Jim Ross plugged his book. Swole ended up showing up during all of this in a hooded jacket. So she made her way into the building, Jesse, and she was wearing a face covering. Baker said she's not supposed to be there. Swole and Baker argued. Swole threw a wad of paper at Reba, the secretary, who stood between them. Reba then reacted by swinging her arms and yelling, and then she accidentally smacked Britt Baker in the face, in the nose area, and that was it. Does she have a broken nose? I hope not. For your sake, I hope not. This is all you're doing. It's all your bad karma.
I mean, well, a broken nose is not gonna keep her off TV. She'll still be here. So
Yeah,
let's
she'll be
just
wearing
move this shit
a,
on.
you know, those masks The Undertaker used to wear back in the early 90s, and Phantom of the Opera mask. You put her in one of those.
She'll wear one of her laughing gas masks from her dental office.
Oh, yeah, see?
Cover her nose.
See, Britt, look, your favorite fucking podcaster right here, Jesse, is giving you some nice tips for next week's show, live. See?
Fuck you, man. Hey, Big Swole is arguing with Tony Khan on Twitter about being
Really?
suspended. Oh yeah, she's pissed.
What is,
and
Sal
Tony
Rex is texting me something lame happened on social media here. Oh my God, the cringe. WWE and Fox using NX Lee as a hashtag. I'm sorry, guys. Did I ruin the match for you? Maybe I should consult with Sarav of Indoshare. Take up your complaints with him.
You just ruined it. Now I don't have to watch.
Oh, give me a break. You know you're going to watch. How it happened. Who interfered. Was Dexter Loomis there? You know.
I just want to see what happens when. What are you guys gonna all say when Bay goes bye-bye?
There you go.
It's going to the
There you
main
go.
roster, man.
Adam Cole
They're gonna
Bay
kick-
now in Bruce's possession. My goodness.
They're gonna kiss his ass. He might be the biggest star on television. They're gonna kiss his ass. His contract is coming up.
Is it? I thought I had reported something, or Sean Ross Sapp reported something, or somebody, one of these guys, said that his contract was renewed. All four of them.
I didn't hear about the renewal. I heard about the contract coming to an end this summer. They renewed recently.
As of this year, they renewed, yeah. Which would be for another 5 years if they all renewed.
If they did, that's news to me. I thought he was up. Cause remember we were talking about they're gonna have to pay him a lot of money.
Well, listen, there's a report. I mean, I don't know who the fuck is reporting this, or I don't know what Vince McMahon is feeling on what day, but he mentioned, apparently, according to this report, I believe it's from Mike Johnson of PW Insider, that Vince McMahon sees a little bit of Shawn Michaels in Matt Riddle. So what is he going to see when Adam Cole gets brought up to the main roster?
Yeah, let's check with Chet. Chet, what's going on with anybody know what's going on with Adam Cole's contract? I'm hearing 18 months left. I'm seeing 1 year left. A year makes no sense. That makes no sense because we just heard about him being up soon, like this year. But now there's a report that he resigned. He wouldn't have resigned for 1 year, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, listen, I mean, Triple H and Shawn Michaels absolutely love Adam Cole. They're not going to let him just walk, you know? They're not going to let him walk. That would be ridiculous.
They didn't let Jonathan Good walk.
Well, Jonathan Good kind of gave the impression that he was staying, and then he ended up leaving. He fucked with them like they fucked with him.
Smart.
That's the way you got to go about it. But Adam Cole's been treated good, but he does not know what awaits him with my good old buddy Bruce on Monday and Friday. And if the ratings are any indication, like you said, Adam Cole Bay is going to be Adam Cole bye-bye. Nobody's going to be watching.
Bye-bye.
More people may be watching NXT than Monday Night Raw right now. Who the fuck knows?
Adam Cole's not stupid. He knows what's awaiting him in the main roster. He got his inevitable Baron Corbin feud. All right, we got a feud with Corbin.
Of course.
And then after we feud with Corbin, we got to get some Ziggler in there somewhere. We got to get some Ziggler, then Big Show. You know, it's going to be good times. Good times for him.
Well,
Can't wait.
On the podcast this weekend, there was major Randy Orton news that broke today. It looks like there may be a situation where Randy Orton has a say in who he wrestles at SummerSlam, and he's already pitched the idea of Tommaso Ciampa to Vince McMahon. And the other name that he wants to wrestle from NXT is Adam Cole. So Adam Cole, after losing tonight to Keith Lee and losing the NXT Championship, could he be brought up to the main roster in time for SummerSlam to feud with Randy Orton? Does that make sense? I don't know how that kind of plays into the whole Randy Orton Edge thing, but we'll see what happens. And feuding with Randy Orton on the main roster might be a death sentence right out of the gate because Randy Orton, as far as I'm concerned, cannot lose a fucking match. So I don't understand why you would book anybody against Randy Orton because you're inevitably going to lose.
Not only that, I mean, be careful with what you do with Ciampa in a feud with Orton because I'm assuming they want to put Orton over. I mean, but Ciampa just got crushed.
Yeah, but
Killian Cross.
Ciampa, I feel like Ciampa is one of those guys that, even when he loses, it's like he's such a badass. Like, it doesn't really affect him, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. He is a little bit bulletproof, but he's the heart and soul of NXT. He's the grandfather of the locker room back there. We all know that. You can't come out and just get mutilated by one guy, go to the main roster, get beat up by the old guy, and then come back to NXT and say this is my house. No, it's not. You get kicked out of your house. You get beat up in your house. No, it's not. He can't keep doing that. He just got his ass kicked by Killian Cross or Karrion Cross. He should not be losing again until he gets his revenge in some form or another. He's got to look strong again, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those sticky situations where I just have a fucking sneaking suspicion, and I don't want to make this about a WWE fucking booking decision here on the main roster when we're talking about AEW, but I just think with WWE's mentality, I just have a sinking fucking feeling in my gut that Brock Lesnar's coming to the Performance Center. He's going to take that fucking title off of Monday Night Raw, and he's going back to Saskatchewan, and he's going to be hunting fucking or fishing in the lake behind his house for the rest of the summer with the fucking title. That's what I think is going to happen. Who knows if Randy Orton even wants the fucking World Championship? If he wants to work with Adam Cole and Tommaso Ciampa, my inclination would be, he doesn't want the championship, you know? Because if you put him against Drew McIntyre, what are you going to do? Drew's done. His reign is over.
Yeah, I don't know. We can kind of tell when Orton doesn't care where he is on the card or what he's doing because he's just kind of just there doing matches and leaving. But he's been all over the place. He's been at the top of the card. He's been vocal on social media. It looks like he's in the mood to carry. So he might be carrying the title real soon.
We'll see. Normally, I would be against Randy Orton holding the WWE Championship, but he's probably the best thing coming out of that show. So at this point, I wouldn't mind if you're going to take the title off of Drew. The one guy that it should be is Randy Orton, but I still go back to what I said coming out of WrestleMania and into May. Drew McIntyre should not lose at all. And here we are. WWE has let him down already in August, and we're already talking about taking the fucking title off of him. They cannot book a babyface champion to save their fucking life, these people. And you got a guy who's probably the quintessential, you look at Drew McIntyre, he's like the fucking picture-perfect pro wrestler. You dream of a pro wrestler, you see Drew McIntyre standing right in front of you. How do you fuck that up? I don't understand these people.
Yeah, at this point, I kind of want to see them put both the titles on Orton. I mean, they're not doing anything. If you're gonna job out McIntyre to Lesnar, fuck it, don't do that. Just put the title on Orton. And rather than what's his name, Braun holding the title, put that on Orton too. Just have Orton carry around the fucking title.
Yeah, that's another story that is a complete mess all on itself. Braun Strowman, holy shit.
I mean, God.
Anyway, a toast to Braun Strowman losing the championship. Can I join Sheamus in getting drunk? Please. Anything than fucking watching Braun Strowman on TV. But we got Chris Jericho with Santana and Ortiz versus Orange Cassidy in a fucking awesome main event. TNT and AEW promoted the living shit out of this match. Jericho, on social media, Jesse, said this was one of his most favorite matches in his entire career. Now, I don't know why he said that. Obviously, we know why he said it for promotional purposes, but did he really mean that? With what you've seen tonight, did he really mean that? And in what aspect did he mean that? Is Jericho at a point right now where he is absolutely head over heels in love with putting over younger talent, making them into main event level guys in AEW? Is that why he said he thought this was one of his most favorite matches in his long, unbelievable career?
That's why he said it, and it's absolutely true. You know who one of my favorite gimmicks in AEW is right now? Pineapple Pete.
Who?
Don't play with me, man.
The job of that guy Judas Effect in like 90 seconds, right? That guy?
He get ripped off. Look, we're not gonna go into this shit, all right? He got ripped off. It needs to be a rematch.
The meet and greet I'm buying you is not Pineapple Pete, by the way. It's
yeah. But that's what he does, man. He knows where he is in his career. And in his career, he needs to get this company over. He needs to get the younger talent over. And that's what he's going to do. He's probably meant every word he said because he feels like Orange Cassidy has the talent to be a top-tier star, but not enough people has enough eyes on him. But they will now. and he's gonna make Orange Cassidy a big star, man. I love
Orange
it.
Cassidy is one of the most talked about guys in all of pro wrestling coming out of this pandemic era of pro wrestling. He's just awesome. I was so against the gimmick. I was first of all, I seen Orange Cassidy at an Evolve show back last year. Well, before AEW was a thing, and I knew how talented he was because what he did here, he did in that match when I attended that Evolve show in Queens. So I was like, well, this guy's pretty interesting. And then when he came to AEW, just seeing who he was on the indies and the matches that he's worked and the comedy matches that he's worked, I'm like, this is never going to get over. This is going to be a fucking embarrassment. You know, I put it down like a dummy, and it's one of the very few things I got wrong. But, man, oh, man, he has proved me wrong, and I'm glad that he did because he's fucking phenomenal at not only playing his character, but he is very good in the ring, and the man owns the gimmick so much that he still is wearing his bloody t-shirt, Jesse, from the fucking bloody ear incident, or the fact that Jericho beat him with blood oranges. He's still wearing the fucking blood shirt, the blood-soaked shirt that he wore that night. I don't know if it's just because he's just lazy and he doesn't want to buy a new shirt, or he's just lazy, he doesn't want to do his laundry, take it to his dry cleaner or something. I don't know, but the fact that he's still wearing a bloody t-shirt just speaks to me. I love it.
Get the fucking cursor away from me.
Oh, look at this. Look.
God damn
Look.
it.
Oh.
Man.
Look at the cursor. I
Chat,
feel like WWE 2K fucking up here on their trailer.
Chat sold you out, man. You a piece of... Get the fucking cursor away from me. God.
Hey, listen, chat. You're here. What the fuck, man? You're supposed to be with me, not against me. Jesus
Sold
Christ.
you
What do you
out,
think this is? Raw?
God damn it. This guy, man, I went back and looked at a couple of his old matches. Like after I went back and did some research on him after I first learned who he was, because I had no idea who he was just before AEW launched. And I saw his work, man, and I was impressed. But I said the same thing. I like it, but it does not look like something that would get over in the mainstream. It looks very hokey. It looks very carny. It looks very indie. It looks very like it's not gonna work on TV. And Jericho is taking that ball and running with it. You know, it looks like he was already starting to get that cult following, but now they're gonna put him on top stage. Now, when people talk about what Chris Jericho is doing, they have to say Orange Cassidy, and that's what he wants. And it's awesome.
Does this match happen again at All Out? What does Jericho do at All Out? Does he continue his feud with Orange Cassidy?
I don't know. And man, you know how we sit and we talk about WWE shows and what happens next? It's like, oh yeah, well they'll probably do this match again this month and then take this into SummerSlam. Every time you ask me what I think is gonna happen here, I'm like, man, I don't know. I have no idea because they don't sit and rinse and repeat the same crap. I mean, I have no idea where they're going with this. I love it.
That's a good thing. I love
Yeah.
the fact that you don't know, because I don't know either. If we knew, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I mean this is great. And not only that, it's even worse when they say, well, where can they go from here? They have nowhere to go, which we say that quite often. But now it's like, dude, they have so many options. Who knows?
Man, I'm looking at Orange Cassidy and I'm thinking, man, this guy, here's another guy. Like everybody mentions Darby Allin. Well, another guy here that would be perfect for that TNT Championship. I could see matches with Orange Cassidy and Jungle Boy. I could see matches with Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. I could see matches with Orange Cassidy and pretty much anybody, really. You know? Pac,
Yeah.
Fenix, Pentagon, you name it. That's another thing that they probably have to go back and revisit, too. Best friends with Orange Cassidy against the Death Triangle, and Pac makes his way back to the United States. So,
Yeah.
you know, Orange Cassidy's doing his thing, man. I love seeing it. I really do.
I'm just gonna say we also gotta don't forget they have to revisit the trios thing that they were talking about and getting started and everything else. And the same way that Orange is getting themselves over, Best Friends are also hanging in there in that tag team title hunt. They're right there in the top tier as well.
Yep.
So who knows? All three of them could come out of here with gold. Who knows?
They did mention that Jericho on commentary, Shivani, Excalibur, and Ross mentioned that Jericho was number 5 in the overall standings of AEW. Cassidy, at the outset here, ran wild, and he had a suicide dive and whipped Jericho into the barricade. Excalibur pointed out on commentary that Jericho hurt the arm he uses for the Judas effect. So, again, you know, I remember last year when we were watching Double or Nothing, And I went back and watched. I'm like, man, this commentary team needs work. Ross is kind of not really feeling it. The energy's not there. 1 year turns around, and I honestly think they may be the best commentary team in all pro wrestling right now, to be perfectly honest with you. I love the story that they tell. I love how they make everybody look good. It's amazing. A commentary team making the people in the ring performing look good.
Yeah, they got this weird edict of getting the talent over. It's stupid, man.
Unreal.
They've hit their stride. I'm with you on that one, because when it just seemed so just laggy, and just JR wasn't there. We weren't familiar or comfortable with the other guys, and you can tell AEW themselves are still trying to figure it out. I mean, and that's the only thing we were asking for when this company launched. Everybody was picking holes in what wasn't right. Give them time. Give them time to feel things out and move pieces around and see what works and see what doesn't work. They got the commentary team smoothed out. They get the commentary team so smoothed out, they can move in interchangeable pieces, and we won't even fucking care. They can put Taz on the show, then take him out and put him in the ring on the show, and we won't even care. It's I love it. It flows. Their special guest flow. Then they put Britt Baker on the fucking side, but that's all right. It's all right.
Don't disrespect her, bro. Don't let me hit up Adam Cole on Twitter and mention what you said here, please. He's already in a bad mood tonight. He lost the championship.
Yeah. I heard about that a long time ago.
Yes, Tony Khan has actually given them the freedom to do whatever they want to, which actually helps a lot. They're not fucking robotic, and they're not being yelled at through a fucking headset. And in Jim Ross's case, I think working with Tony has kind of really made him excited again, honestly. Being that he knows Tony so well, and he's kind of settled into this role where he knows Excalibur is going to do a lot of the work. Jim Ross tried to be the guy. He doesn't need to be the guy anymore. He's just there, and he's a legend, and everybody loves having him there in general. So he's just kind of let Excalibur do what he's got to do to tell the story, and Jim Ross will add his own little barbecue sauce of flavor on everything, which is great. Love it.
You know who Tony Khan is harassing on the headset all night long? The referees.
Oh yeah. That's another thing they got to work on. Holy shit.
She said, she said, he's in my ear all goddamn night.
So back inside, Jericho cut Cassidy off and put him in the walls of Jericho. Not the lion taming, two different maneuvers, folks. Cassidy reached the ropes for a break, but Jericho had turned the tide. Cassidy took just a shot from Santana Ortiz on the floor. I believe it was a loaded sock on the outside. Behind the referee's back, Aubrey was the referee of this match. Cassidy used 3 quick cradles for near falls. Cassidy missed a Superman punch and rolled to the outside. Jericho hit him with a baseball slide. Jericho worked Cassidy through a commercial break. Back from break, Cassidy came back with a head scissor takeover and some short kicks before winding up hitting a real super kick for a 2 count. This is my favorite part of the match. So Cassidy did his little imitation kicks to the ankles, and then all of a sudden Jericho standing there dazed, and I just laughed out loud. He delivered a real super kick to it. It was beautiful, too. And he went for the cover. So I know, did you laugh as much as I laughed at that, or did you just like, holy shit, now this is really picking up?
No. Yeah, I sat and started laughing at the spot when he kicked, because remember when Jericho said, you better not do that leg kick, that kick shit. After he got beat up for a while, he did it anyway. And as you sit back and try to laugh at it, he comes back and he goes full speed on the super kick. I was like, oh shit, he got him. I think the wrong person won this match too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'll get there. I do agree there. So after the super kick, 2 count by Cassidy, they're up on top. Cassidy blocked a superplex, hit a top rope splash for a near fall. Looked like he actually put some effort into that top rope splash. He nailed it perfectly. Jericho missed a dive to the apron, fell to the floor. Cassidy hit a springboard dive. Cassidy then threw Jericho back in and hit a diving DDT off of the top rope for a 2 count. Cassidy called for a Superman punch. Jericho caught him coming in and used the walls. Cassidy turned the hold into a cradle for another near fall. Cassidy hit another Superman punch, or tried to, and hit it this time. Santana Ortiz threw orange juice at this point in the match. They brought out orange juice with them. Santana Ortiz threw orange juice in Cassidy's face. The best friends then ran in after seeing this, and they brawled into the crowd with both Santana and Ortiz. Jericho used a baseball bat while Aubrey was distracted by all this nonsense on the outside. Baseball bat shot to Cassidy with Aubrey distracted, but Cassidy ended up kicking out of the baseball bat shot. Jericho hit a back elbow. Cassidy hit a Michinoku driver for a 2 count. They traded strikes. Cassidy hit a stun dog millionaire and a tornado DDT for a near fall. Cassidy then went for a Superman punch, but ran right into the Judas effect, and Jericho pinned Orange Cassidy as AEW Dynamite went past the 10 o'clock hour. I love how this show was actually filmed the very next day after night one. The ratings were probably out, and Tony Khan said, "Motherfucker, you ain't getting one over on me. I'm going to XTNT for another minute or three, and we're going to go over the 10 o'clock hour and have people come over from the obviously spoiled main event on NXT to come over and watch what we do here, and we're still on TV." That's that.
Smart.
But, the wrong guy, Cassidy, the wrong guy here, should have won. He should have never lost. That was the right choice in Cassidy winning, and then they made the wrong decision here. But I think he still gained from this. I'm sure you agree. He still gained from this. Everybody's going to be talking about this match. Everybody's going to be talking about how great this match was and how Jericho put over Cassidy. The fact that he was in there with Chris Jericho and Jericho wanted to work with him. We all know the sky is the limit for Orange Cassidy, so I don't think it necessarily takes too much away from him. But man, oh man, if he won over Jericho, what it would have done for him and his career, it easily would have been the biggest win of his career.
No, I don't think he got buried. I don't think he lost a step. I think he easily went up a few notches in that loss to Jericho. Like you said though, I think it would have been better, for the overall picture if he had won. Now, that being said, we don't know the overall picture. He still got to go into this thing to this whole ordeal. I mean, we got to see what's going on with who else Jericho has coming up, because we just can't have him putting everybody over. I mean, him losing everything, he's not worth anything.
It was a great main event. Definitely great main event. I was very entertained by Fyter Fest this year. I love the two weeks that they put into this. So much better than what they did last year. You can see how the roster is coming along. You see the talents that's even from last year that weren't there going into this year, how much better off they are. Everything is just growing, and that was pretty much a lot of the basis of what Jesse was talking about tonight. Give them time to develop. You see it just by even going back and watching and thinking about what happened at last year's Fyter Fest, how much better off the company is. No matter if they lose in the ratings or not, this is not it's not a competition as far as I'm concerned in the ratings. I'm here to watch the growth of the company and to watch the biggest performers in this business thrive. And AEW seems to be operating in the most perfect way right now going into what I think is their second biggest pay-per-view of the year. So I love what they did at Fyter Fest, and looking forward to next week for Fight for the Fallen. Jesse, little bit left here. We got some super chats coming on in. Sure, people want to ask you questions about Britt Baker, because you love Britt Baker so much. I'm sure there's a Britt Baker question here somewhere. Anyway, we got Daniel Easter Day. Who is your guy's favorite AEW wrestler? $2 super chat by Daniel. I am going to go out there and say probably MJF.
There we go. Moving on.
Jesse says the same thing. Daniel, thank you for the $2 super chat. DJ Instrumental becomes a member. Thank you, bro. Jacob Donnelly, $5 super chat. Orange Cassidy gave me Daniel Bryan-like underdog vibes tonight. The man is a true star, one of my favorite gimmicks today. I could actually see that. I could see a very youngish Daniel Bryan underdog vibe there. What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, I could see that too. You know what I think would be a good storyline for Cassidy when they get back to live crowds and they put him with a super heel and have him get killed. I mean, this on a segment or a promo at the end of a match, just beat him to a bloody pulp. Just let him have it, and that's easy nuclear heat, because you can't do that to Orange. Orange is the nicest guy in the company. What are you doing? And that'll be a hot feud right there with the ultimate heel and the ultimate babyface.
There you go. Maybe that's Lance Archer's newest opponent going to All Out. Maybe, who knows?
There you go.
JP 5150 with the $10 super chat. The craft beer connoisseur like I am, JP. What's up, man? In commemoration for the live AEW review with JD and Jesse, a toast to another great AEW show and for another successful review from the greater good, the true greater good. Yes, I am. Much better than Rollins. I still don't know what the fucking greater good of Monday Night Raw is and why Rey Mysterio is putting his eyeball on the line. I don't know. Got my Guinness on ice and ready. Can't go wrong with a Guinness. Absolutely delicious. Thank you, JP. Taking it easy and going the simple route, the simple but epic route of a Guinness. Stephen Vandelli, $50 super chat. Thank you, brother. Wow, what a second night for AEW. I don't know if you two agree with me, but the main event had it all. Share this super chat with Jesse. The diesel to your HBK. Oh, man. What a fucking analogy there.
Well, I wasn't Marty Jannetty, so I'll take it.
There you go. There you go. As long as you're not Marty
There you
Jannetty.
go.
Undisputed Era, $5 super chat. Jesse and JD are left with no role models. Jesse's role model, Britt Baker, is injured, and JD's role model, Charlotte, is off TV, but JD and Jesse persevere. Oh, who says my role model is Charlotte? My role model is clearly Sasha Banks. I mean, give me a break. She's the golden role model. Come on.
Charlotte Stan.
Nobody's a Charlotte stan. You got to be a little mentally not right up here if you're a Charlotte stan. But we will not talk about her because she's out with elective surgery, and hopefully she stays out. Undisputed Era, thank you for the $5, bro. Really appreciate you. The Phenom, Canadian $5. Hey, JD, how are you? Not drunk. Sober. I wish I wasn't. Now I got to watch NXT. Thank you, Phenom. Really appreciate you. Willie, $5 super chat. Hey, you forgot about me last week, but good show as always. Willie, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry you donated and I didn't realize it. I usually am good with this type of thing, but thank you for the 5 and the 5 last week. I appreciate you. Quintendo here every single live stream. AEW put on such a great show. I can't wait for Fight for the Fallen. AEW is raising money for people affected by COVID-19, so I support them 110%. Wear your masks. Mouthmasker.com/offthescript or OTS. It's mouthmasker.com/OTS. Go and get your off the script mask today. Really appreciate you guys. Quintendo, thank you so much. Jacob, the one thing is we got to see what NXT does to combat AEW. Maybe they do, like I said, Starrcade, or they bring back something. Maybe they do part 3 of Great American Bash. Haha, we got part 3. Because, they need to counter-program, but according to Vince McMahon, they don't counter-program. According to Vince McMahon, AEW is not competition.
Won't they try to bring back SummerSlam? I heard that used to be good.
Yeah, let's bring back SummerSlam, please. I forgot what SummerSlam really feels like.
God.
Jacob, thank you for Quintendo. Thank you for the $4.99. Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. A little confused by the reintroduction of the FTW title. I get its significance with Taz, but I don't want it to feel like 2 mid-card titles for AEW. Too many. Yeah, I agree with you there. I'm sure Jesse agrees with you there, Jacob. Hopefully, it's just something to get over Cage's character, and it's not going to be a thing on TV. But I'm sure Darby Allin's going to factor into this thing being on TV and maybe winning the title, because it represents the baddest son of a bitch in all of pro wrestling, and a renegade, or it represents renegade shit, I believe. And there's no bigger or fucking more well-known renegade in AEW than Darby Allin, so it's got its little innuendos there, so I hope that's not the case. So, Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. Chris for Prez, one-on-one, $5 super chat. Fyter Fest delivers, and some man, oh man, what a show. Not to mention that show next week, Fight for the Fallen. Damn, man, AEW bringing the strong guns. That's what they usually do. I just wish the ratings the last couple of weeks kind of reflected that, but I get it. Nobody wants to watch an empty arena show. But yes, they're bringing it, and it should be a great show next week for Fight for the Fallen with the card that they have already announced. Prodigy RKO with a $20 super chat. Britt Baker, merch fund for Jesse. Respect your role model, sir, he says. See? I told you there'd be some Britt Baker super chats in here. Much love for JD and Jesse, the best tag team in the YWC. Question, though, JD, Keith Lee and Karrion Kross. What are your thoughts on that? I talked about this last week on NXT. Keith Lee losing to Karrion Kross is much better than Adam Cole losing to Karrion Kross, because there's no way that Adam Cole would look good after a long, unbelievable title reign. You can't do that to Adam Cole. You might as well at that point just gift him the championship and not even wrestle him. Keith Lee loses nothing. He's going to look strong, and he's still going to be the North American champion. Problem solved. So, Road Dogg, thank you for taking my booking recommendation. My PayPal is on Twitter. Clown. What do you think about that, Jesse? Karrion Kross and Keith Lee. Yes, I know Britt Baker is very beautiful and she's lovely. Please get with the program.
Oh, I do agree with you. But yeah, I think they would have had to squash Adam Cole, and they don't have to squash Keith Lee, but they do have to beat him. So it'd be the best move.
It's just simple. It's simple booking. And this was not in the plans, by the way. This was just brought about because AEW is not competition. So Adam Cole and Keith Lee was not in the plans. And I don't recall NXT needing to go to these sub-pay-per-views for NXT TV in between takeovers. That was never necessary. But this year, all of a sudden, it's necessary. Why don't they just get back to making NXT feel like NXT and not Robert Stone vomiting or being run over by a fucking tank like I seen on Twitter tonight? You fucking serious?
What happened?
That's all I'll say. That's all. More cringe by Robert Stone. That's all you need to know. What do we got here? Oh my goodness. Prodigy with a $20, and then Jacob with another $10, Jesse. Listen to this. This super chat also contributes to Jesse's Britt Baker merch fund.
Okay, who sent that again?
We got Prodigy, RKO, and Jacob Donnelly.
Hold on.
Oh, so now, guys, I'm telling you, man, when I get back out to Chicago and we attend another convention, maybe there'll be another Starcast, I'm going to buy him a Britt Baker role model t-shirt, and I'm going to buy him a meet and greet with Britt Baker. This is great.
Hold on. I'll find him.
Great. DJ Instrumental, $8 super chat. JD, I'm off the script. I'm an OG goon of off the script. Always love your content and tweets. You have a brother in me for life. Craft beer on me when you are in North Carolina. I don't know, man. If I could get down there, might have to quarantine for 14 days. Knowing the world climate nowadays will be shut down by August all over again. But thank you, DJ Instrumental. I would like to visit North Carolina. I heard it's very lovely down there. So thank you for the $8. Life After Death, $5 super chat. Sounds like when I watch Monday Night Raw. I'm alive, and then at the end of the 3 hours, I'm dead. $5 super chat. How about the FTW belt for AEW Dark? Also, JD, where are your wall picks? The FTW title should not be defended. We talked about this on the show. And my wall picks, I am moving next Wednesday to a bigger apartment. So right now, the walls are empty, just like Bruce Pritchard's brain when it comes to Raw Creative. Thank you, Life After Death. I appreciate you. Your boy Chris, $9.99. Thank you, man. What's up, guys? Raw ratings are in 1.6 on the show Monday. I'm not surprised by that whatsoever. Let's all blame JD's good old buddy Bruce for the rating. Next meet and greet, you have cold beverages on me. Thank you, sir. The 1.6 rating, Jesse. All I need to know is Vince thinking about now firing Bruce like he did Paul? And what are they going to blame it on? Because the 4th of July holiday apparently didn't happen the years prior, but this year people want to use the excuse of 4th of July. What else was on the 4th of July? Maybe Guy Fieri had a Triple D marathon. Maybe he had Triple G on all day. What was on? Maybe there was a hot dog eating contest that they could blame the ratings on. What happened?
Doesn't matter, man. If the wind blew, that was a reason for the ratings to be down. If there was a viral video on YouTube, that's why the ratings were down. It doesn't matter. And I also don't think he's gonna fire Bruce so willy-nilly and as fast and freely, because that literally means he has to do all this shit himself.
But the thing is, he doesn't. He wants to. He feels like he has to, yet he employs 50 creative writers with fucking all the talent in the world, and they just can't get their ideas across.
He has to. If he doesn't, the show falls apart. And
you know why the rating was a 1.6, right? Because Charlotte Flair wasn't on the show. That's it.
That too. And
Brock Lesnar wasn't on the show. Oh boy, oh boy. Drew McIntyre, bro, listen. I feel sorry for you, man. That title is coming off of you as quick as you could breathe. Unreal. Undisputed Era, $2 super chat. Lana's mom is in the ICU after getting COVID. Thank you for that piece of information. Well thoughts and wishes to Lana's mom, and of course she did.
Is that true?
That's what he said.
I'll look into it.
So hopefully she gets better. Thank you, Undisputed Era. Frank Sen with a $5 Canadian super chat. I like half of what AEW is doing, but I can't get invested in the other half. Right now, they're more like a WWE rather than a New Japan. Thoughts? I don't know why anybody wanted to be in New Japan or thought AEW was going to be in New Japan. They don't need to be in New Japan. Let them be AEW. The reason why WWE sucks is because they are trying too hard to, I would say, they're trying too hard to pretend AEW doesn't exist. And they're trying to create television in a time right now where they are in this own bubble of theirs. They don't think that anything else is happening, and everything else around them is falling down. They're acting as if, oh my God, we're WWE, we're World Wrestling Entertainment. People need us, you know. They got so much shit happening backstage and firing this guy and firing that guy. Bruce is on 2 shows. I mean, they got half of a fucking roster on Monday Night Raw that's not even being used. There's nothing that makes sense on these shows. What do you expect? Why is there a 1.6 rating when you give the fucking Big Show 4 segments? Why do you expect there's a 1.6 rating? Yeah, you can't find one fucking segment for a Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler to tell, I don't know, engaging stories? Or Aleister Black? Or Ali? Didn't he get moved to Monday Night Raw? What about Ricochet and Cedric Alexander? I could go on. I
thought he was the hacker. Whatever. I mean,
the hacker. Maybe he could hack the rating to a 3.6. Could he do that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's confirmed. CJ Perry said her mother was rushed to the ER about 12 hours ago, and she was not breathing.
Oh my goodness, that is not good at all.
Yeah. No, it's terrible.
So thoughts and prayers to Lana's mother for contracting COVID-19. I'll keep you guys updated on that situation. I'm sure that'll be in the news tonight going into tomorrow when I record off the script. But Frank, thank you for the Canadian $5. Hoyt with a $4.99 super chat. Hey, JD, I love your review. Britt, champion after 2020. Jesse, he says. How about a tag team? Pineapple Pete and Orange Cassidy called Fruit Punch. Bro, I don't think you should be a creative writer.
Okay, hold on. Who was that again?
Hoyt Ray Alda, $4.99.
Okay, I'll find you. Oh, there we go. I got something for you, buddy. All right, go ahead, move on.
Justin Alba, $5 super chat. Tony Khan on Twitter announced he's looking for more female talent for Sheeta to go up against. Who do you think they should pick up? Well, there's somebody in Mexico that I think would fit right in there, but I don't think that's the right move for her. I don't think Tony Khan's going to pick her up, but who knows? They got... What happened to Shauna? Really? What happened to, what's her name? The one that they brought over from Stardom. What the fuck was her name? She was friends with B. Priestley. I forgot her name.
Oh, what's Statlander?
Jamie Hayter. What happened to her?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
She was great.
But yeah. But now that you mention it, where's Statlander?
Oh, she's hurt. ACL. She's out for the rest of the year.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
yeah.
God, that's
yeah,
right.
That's
right.
It's amazing how you don't realize how much of a presence she was and a big addition to that roster now that she's hurt, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully Tony can find some female talent. That division definitely needs it. But Justin, thank you for the $5. Drizzy Drew, $4.99. Hey, JD or Jesse, have you seen Brian Pillman Jr. on Dark? Hope they sign him. And also imagine Rey Mysterio in trios with the Lucha Brothers. Jesse, what did Pillman do on Dark against Shawn Spears? How did he look?
He did not look
He didn't look good.
No, he's really, really green. He's not ready for TV yet. They need to work on his gimmick. He's got a generic go out there and let's see what you can do type gimmick. He has no gimmick or character yet. But that's not important. I mean, when you're at this early of the stages, it's not about your gimmick right now. Right now, it's about how you flow out there and how you work with your opponent. And he's got a lot of work to do in the ring. He got a nice look. He's got a nice little hairdo. Kind of reminds me of his father. Not the same like little mullet type, shoulder length type deal. But his look is fine. He's extremely green. Very, very.
You know, the funny thing is I have not seen one full match of Brian Pillman Jr. yet. I've heard a lot about him, but apparently he asked for his MLW release, and they did not give him his release, but he made a case like, listen, you guys ain't putting on shows. I need to work. I'm a pro wrestler, and I need to work. So AEW, I guess they're allowing him to work AEW, which I don't know if that's going to necessarily be good for MLW, but we'll see what happens. I take Jesse's word for it. If he's green, and Jesse says he's green, I definitely believe him on that, but we'll see what happens with him. I could see him definitely ending up with AEW eventually. Your boy Chris Ford. I'm sorry, Jesse.
You know what he reminded me of?
Who?
Not that I see that he has this kind of potential, but it kind of reminded me of a young Rocky Maivia debuting in the ring.
Yeah, we all know
It's
all
kinda
know
like
what
that.
happened there and how everybody felt about him.
Yeah, it kind of like that. I mean, he has a good look to him. His moves were not very crisp. His movement wasn't flowing, but you can tell that he can get there. But he is so green. Oh
Well,
my
listen,
God,
AEW
dude.
could
So
bring
green.
in Davey Boy Smith Jr. and not Teddy Hart, because Teddy Hart's a fucking abuser and he's a cocksucker. But you could bring in Davey Boy Smith Jr. and have a little Hart Foundation 2.0 over here. You know?
No, it gotta be a heart found. Make it like a generational thing. Put Billy Gunson over there too.
I could see that. Yeah,
make a little group out.
that could work. Yeah, but I see him ending up with AEW eventually. Chris, $4.99 super chat. Oh, and by the way, JD and Jesse, according to Wrestling Inc. on Twitter, NXT is bringing back Tuesday in Texas next week. How the fuck could it be Tuesday in Texas if it's on Wednesday?
In the Performance Center.
What?
in Florida.
Tuesday in Texas? Motherfucker, I'm Googling this shit right now. Fuck out of here with this shit.
They have all kinds of pay-per-view names to. They just bring back a name, throw it on a card, and then wait for the ratings to come in. Like, why is it Bash at the Beach? Why is it Texas this? Why is it,
No, he's obviously got to be trolling there. Give me a break.
No, I saw that. He's not.
What?
Yeah, I saw that news, man.
He's not trolling.
Nope.
How could it be Tuesday in Texas if you're running Wednesday in Orlando? Jesus Christ, man. This ain't Jake the Snake and Macho Man, Undertaker and Hulk Hogan Tuesday in Texas. This is what? Are they going to do the same fucking thing? Hulk Hogan got a championship match against The Undertaker after losing in the Survivor Series 5 days later. Are they going to do the same thing with Karrion Kross and Keith Lee?
What is it with all of this putting pay-per-view names on TV shows?
Bro, they're not competition.
What is this, man?
Paul Levesque says they're not competition.
God, whatever. Okay.
Tuesday in let me see. I swear to God, man, I gotta research this. Tuesday in Texas. I hope you're fucking trolling, bro. I hope you're all trolling me.
No, sorry.
What's this? Grace's World, $3 super chat. What about Volter versus Karrion Kross? Yes, in theory, yes, but no. As long as it takes place in an NXT ring, yes. In a WWE ring, no. There's a reason why Walter said no to Vince McMahon, because he knows how fucking terrible they are. Maurice Jackson, $1.99. Hey, you. Hey, you, back at you, man. Thank you. Pro Wrestler 316, $10 super chat. I just ordered my off-the-script mask today from Mouthmasker. Be safe out there, brother. Thank you. He also gave another $5 and says, thanks for the off-the-script mask recommendation. I just ordered the mask today, and I dropped $10 super chat a few minutes ago. 15 now, Pro Wrestler 316. Thank you. But the masks are doing very well, so continue to buy them. If you guys want to stay safe out there, I know in New Jersey, Governor Murphy actually mandated that they be worn even outside. And I give the middle finger to that. If you're not social distancing, by the way, but if I'm walking by myself to Dunkin', give me a break. I'm not wearing my mask. I'll wear it in Dunkin', but I'm not wearing it in 90-degree heat. That's just me. We don't want to start a mask argument over here. I am kind of for the mask, and I'm kind of not with the mask. But Kevin Dunn needs to be with the mask because he's a fucking beaver. They need to cover up his front teeth. Seriously, I should send my fucking masks over to him. Anyway. Ulysses Smith, $5 super chat. I'm calling it, not Adam Hangman or FTR will turn heel, but the Elite, Omega and the Bucks turn heel. Remember, Evilise from Lucha Underground, where is she? That's a lot of questions in one run-on sentence there, bro. I don't think Omega and the Bucks are turning heel. I could see Omega turning heel. Eva Lise from Lucha Underground. Yeah, I could see her in AEW. I don't even know why she's not signed. She's fucking great. But that would be a great addition to the women's division, right?
I love Eva Lise, yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome. Justin Alba.
What about,
what was that?
What about Rebby Sky?
Rebby Sky. Do I remember her?
Rebby. Really? Matt Hardy's wife.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm thinking of fucking Velvet Sky. That's why. Oh, Jesus Christ, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Velvet Sky. She's not good. Rebby Sky. I think Rebby is done wrestling. I really do. But
I should have to wrestle those. Let's come back and.
Some people were actually saying Lita to manage Nyla Rose. Please don't take Jesse's Vicky Guerrero dream away.
Don't take this away from me. Don't. This is all I have, man. You guys keep pushing Britt Baker on me. Don't take this away from me.
Justin Alba, $2 super chat. They took Pillman off of the MLW website. Well, there you go. That's all they needed to see.
There it is.
There you go. He's in AEW.
There it is.
Ulysses Smith, $5 super chat. Am I wrong to feel Kenny Omega, Pentagon, Fenix, and maybe a couple of others are suppressing themselves because I know they've done more before AEW? I don't know what you're talking about, bro. They're suppressing themselves? Fenix is the best luchador in all of pro wrestling. And Pentagon's a fucking world champion just waiting to break out. Omega, I mean, we're not watching Okada Omega matches here in AEW. Omega is still doing what he needs to do. He's gotten over the AEW Tag Team Championships as the most important titles probably in all pro wrestling right now. Fuck, what do you want from him? He's doing fine.
Perfect.
We are going to get the 5-star bout machine eventually when Kenny Omega slides on into that main event role. It's coming.
This makes more sense. You can't start off a race in top gear. There's nowhere to go but down. All right, so we got to build up.
Cesar Enrique, $4.99. Apparently WWE isn't allowing ring announcers anymore, only for championship matches. Yeah, I got that already queued up off the script this weekend. Apparently they're not allowing the ring announcers in the ring during regular matches, only championship matches. But, Vince McMahon's a fucking weirdo. I don't know why he does what he does. Ring announcers can't have any personality. Kind of goes in line with what the show feels like. None of it has any personality.
Well, that'll help the ratings. I think the ratings are down because
because Mike Rome is not on fucking TV. See?
Yeah.
Just blame it on that.
So, yeah, there you go.
And Ulysses Smith with another $5 super chat. He's the last one here before we get the hell out of here. He says, is Hikaru Shida single? I thought she was single. I want to shoot my shot. LOL. Bro, I love you.
Don't tell us, brother.
I love you for the $5, but you don't got a shot.
No, I didn't say, look, you got a shot. You just got to tweet at her, not us.
Oh, my goodness. Look, bro. I just seen from, before we get out of here, Blizza81. Can you imagine?
Hold on.
Jim, well, he's in the chat. Everybody else has a fucking Hall of Fame manager, bro. He mentioned, what if Jim Cornette is Nyla Rose's manager?
Oh, I thought I was going to have to give somebody else a timeout. That's not too horrible.
I don't think that's horrible at all, but that may look bad for AEW as far as the social media geeks out there, and he is a Hall of Fame manager. It would fit in line with what she said, and he's actually defended her on his podcast and said they should be doing much more with her than they are doing right now. Maybe he either reached out or they reached out or they came to some sort of agreement. Hey, we could bring in for Nyla Rose.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that and processing that now. I mean, to me, it would be just annoying as all hell. I mean, but it would be good heel heat annoying. It wouldn't be go away heat. I could do that. I could see that. That'd be nice for her. That'd be good.
That would be very interesting. I can't wait to see the social media clowns just burn everything down to the ground with Jim Cornette back on TV. But
oh yeah,
it may be more entertaining than a Monday Night Raw episode. Bring it on.
Cornette is the type of guy that would get out there with a live bike and put Bruce Pritchard on Front Street.
Oh yeah.
By name.
And we got one more. Jose Ocampo, $5 super chat just came in before we end the show here. Love the show. JD been a fan since 2013. Sending love from California. Thank you, Jose. Hopefully you are safe out there. I know shit is kind of coming down in California, but hopefully you're safe and sound. Same thing with your family. And thank you for the $5, brother, before we get the hell out of here. Jesse, any
last
parting
one?
thoughts on AEW tonight and going into Fight for the Fallen?
You hit the fucking music on me already.
Hey, whoa!
What the fuck, man?
Whoa!
Okay. All right.
Listen, bro.
That's
Don't let
it.
me hit up Britt Baker over here.
Oh, what the? No more super chats. Hey, if we get more super chats, we'll stay on the air.
Now I got NXT to watch. I gotta watch Sarav and In the Share.
No. Please, no more. I mean, no NXT. If you guys fucking super chat, I don't have to fucking watch NXT with this guy tonight. Just keep the super chats coming in, please.
Right. Listen, we're getting out of here. I got work to do.
No, please,
Bro,
save
listen.
me. Please.
I'm gonna buy you
Help.
3 Britt Baker t-shirts instead of the one I had planned already. Calm down. Now we're getting out of here, guys. Thank you so much for joining me
right,
and
man.
Jesse on the podcast. We'll be back next week for Fight for the Fallen. Until then, hit that thumbs up. Follow us on social media. Our ats are right underneath our little layout there on screen. So follow us on Twitter. If you missed my upload earlier this afternoon, go and check that out. Link is down below in the description of this video. Great American Bash and Fyter Fest competition. Triple H says NXT is not counter-programming. And then Chris Jericho shoots on Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio, eye for an eye. Before we get the hell out of here, Jesse, any parting words?
No, man, this is an awesome show. I had fun tonight.
Good. We always
It's an
have
awesome
fun.
show, man. I hope everybody enjoy it.
Always
man.
having
Give
fun.
me
All
nothing.
right, guys, we will talk to you a little later. And I'll see you back here live on YouTube for NXT. And now I'm going to raise the music. And Jesse's going to think about Britt Baker.
Nah, the music's coming in choppy, asshole.